On the way back to Northfield, we have Manhattan money tonight from Post 8. I would call that less than ideal. Less than ideal. Got up this morning, went to the barn, talked to you guys about the horses, and in fact, JK Mega did tie up before his race. You know, Harry had messaged me and had the vet on the thing and said, hey, what are we just going to treat this guy up, maybe give him a week, or what do you think? And I said, no, I don't think so. I think what we're going to do is castrate the colt and turn him out. Makes all the sense in the world to me. You know what I just did? I got off the wrong exit. No, I think I'm going to keep going. I get off the exit thinking I was going to the restaurant, the Mexican place at the bottom. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I get off the wrong exit for the wrong restaurant. It's up here. So yeah, Harry had said, what do you think? I said, we'll just castrate him, turn him out. It's like 5-6 starts. We start him at the end of the year. If we keep going down this road, you give him this week off, right? We treat him up. Now you're getting closer to the end of November before you actually get him screwed down tight again. So then you go to race him. Then what if he doesn't race great? Because now he's off. This will be his second start in 5 weeks. What if he races flat then? We've already wasted the time we could have castrating him. You got to give, if all the castration goes well, you got to give him a week in the stall, much like Emerald Tom the other day. A week in the stall. If it starts to heal up nicely, go on out to the field. Give them a good 6-7 weeks off. Definitely that pacing colt, 6, 7, 8 weeks off for sure. Bring him back. And at that point, now that we've saved this 2-3 weeks on this side, this is why it's important. Because if we turn him out now, let's say we get him out in the field October the 15th. He's back in the barn around the middle of December. You have him ready to go February 1st. You got a pretty good idea at that point. Even this is the exact same route we tried with a number of the horses. This would be what I would call the time is on my side calendar, right? You have him ready to go. You have a slight idea if he is going to be a stake horse or not, or if he's just going to be an overnight horse, which is fine either way. It's not like we paid a lot of money for him, but we're giving him the opportunity to be a good horse. And if he is great, if he's not, right back to the 9 Wars of 2, condition claimer at Northfield or at the Meadows or at Mohawk for that matter. I'm fine either way, not a big deal. But I think the timing is the important part, because if we have him ready to go the 1st of February, before we have to figure out if he's a stake horse or not, or what we're thinking with this guy as far as staking is concerned, we already got to look at him, right? You're going to have 2 starts into him before February 15th, probably. At least 1. And at that point, you got to say, all right, not a bad colt. Let's stake him to X. And that may just be Pennsylvania. Who knows? Arden, those types of things that are at the Meadows. Or if we really like what we see, we might sprinkle in some other staking engagements along the way. Who knows? But that all reflects on the timing. Right now, now's the time to get him out. So we'll turn him out and we'll castrate him and turn him out and bring him back mid-December. Jog him for 3 weeks, start training him. They'll be full of horses over in Ontario anyway. I suspect we'll jog him for 3 weeks, maybe even bring him back over here, finish him off here, and then race him. He is a Pennsylvania bred, so to race him in the 9 Wars of 2 but not 3 over there might make more sense. And if we don't love him, then we can race him at Northfield back in that 9 Wars of 2, 3, 4 claimer, whatever it is. My hope was that he'd go over to Ontario, get in right away, excel, pace 53, 54 a couple of times, and then we could have this conversation at that point. Didn't work out that way, but we can pivot. It's not a big deal. Now today, obviously I don't want to see our horses make breaks. Raging Hanover, this is all mechanics, right? Now, when he raced at the Meadowlands, mile track, the turns are very forgiving. Megan had his hobbles out long, and I'm sure he was fine, right? You could see how he would do his work. And Scotty, Megan would have him on his toes and proper, right? Scotty, being Scotty, the horse would get around well. It's a good team and a good horse for that combination. Now, you take him away from the Meadowlands, you take him to, let's say, the Poconos. He doesn't look quite as good. Macakele did a tremendous job with him. A little bumpy in the corners. You had to watch him. He got him through the corners and he took off down the lane. Now we get him. I bring him back here, screw him down tight, Go to qualify him, he makes a break. Now, his qualifier in the Meadows, he was fine. And then we went to race him today. And now, in this qualifier at the Meadows, after the break he made at Northfield, it was just get him around. Go easy, get him around. Today, a lot of the same. I was just trying to get him away third or fourth, have him sit, and finish up on the end of the mile. We got to the turn, he get out of gear. And that's where the problem starts. A little self-conscious. He gets touching himself, and then he wants to get away from it, but the hobbles are there. I got him screwed down pretty tight, so the hobbles are there, and they grab a hold of him. He just gets a little... You can almost see him. The best way that I could explain it is almost claustrophobic. If you watch him in the turn, he puts a step in, he puts another step in, and then he doesn't know what to do, and he makes a break. I've seen it before. And the way to polish that is that rinse and repeat. But I had said this a couple weeks ago, I wasn't sure if maybe we haven't shot in the right direction. I don't think we do either. As I drove down the road from Pennsylvania to Northfield, I got thinking more about it and how we would change him. There's a number of ways to go. We can change him up front and leave him behind. We can change him behind and leave him up front. We can change both ends. I can see what he's doing. I just don't know the best way. It'll come to me. I don't know the best way to help him in that regard. The biggest thing he has to do is power through it, right? We talk about whether, in many sports, buying into doing your work, right? Working on your craft, so to speak. Well, horses are no different. They're athletes. When he gets out of gear, he's not solid enough to just push through. That's why you saw him get out of gear so much in the Poconos. Smart enough to stay together, and Matt McAkelly did a great job keeping him together. But how do we take that speed and talent, polish it up so that we can race him on multiple size tracks? Because he doesn't interfere that bad. Touches his high shins into his jacks. Might touch a knee or get close to a knee, especially with the hobbles on a little tighter. How do we fix that? Well, in that regard, it's as much a mental aspect than a physical one, right? And the only way to work on that is just, as I said, rinse and repeat. But the rinse has to be a clean line and then repeat. So how do we get him there? So tinker with his shoes next week. Trotting the turns a little rough. Maybe put a Murphy blind on the inside of him. I'm wondering if we shouldn't lighten him up. The best way that I like to tackle these things is there hasn't been very many types of gaits or things that I haven't seen in other horses. I've seen every type of horse before. This isn't my first raging Hanover, right? It's not my first any horse that makes breaks. So what did we do? And I remember most of the gear, most of the equipment we wore on the horses. Who does this horse remind me of? And what did we do to square him away? That's kind of how I start to attack these problems. So I think we'll just tinker with him a little bit. I know you guys don't want to hear that. You want to hear, that he's going to make that immediate impact right now, and he's going to be fine. Everything will be fine. He win next week. Just relax. The horse fits this class and will fit these classes. There's no lameness. He's not crippled. There's no issues in that regard. It is immaturity, mental immaturity. I think that's the biggest hurdle he's going to face are the monsters under the bed. They're just not real, and he just has to push. He just has to push forward. He will. So, because he is a likable horse, he did everything right. He wasn't rude. Left out of the gate, dropped him in a hole. He was 2 fingers. He behaved himself. Just when he got to that corner, he get out of gear, and then, as I said, it almost feels like he just gets a little claustrophobic. Anyway, we can work with that. We'll get him squared away, and as I like to say to people all the time, I know you want him just rocket forward and do great, and sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't, right? The good news is that the numbers are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's not going anywhere, and neither is he. So I'll get him squared away. I think I have a pretty good plan, a pretty good idea of what I'd like to do and how I'd like to do it. We'll execute that over the next week. He does not have to qualify in Pennsylvania, so we will put him in to go there. That's important because we tried to bring him back to Ohio. He wouldn't be eligible to race. This is another state. They just changed it where you could change the hobbles, but they're still not up to code yet. as far as forcing horses to break with, or forcing horses to qualify with a break off of a qualifier. Ontario, you don't have to. I can't speak about all the other jurisdictions, but I know PA and Ontario for sure. You make a break off qualifier, you're okay. Now in Ohio and Pennsylvania, if it's a mud, you're okay. Even if it was muddy next week and you made a break in Pennsylvania, it wouldn't count necessarily as a break. So we don't want to be racing in the mud though. So no mud. Don't want to talk about mud. So we'll race him right back next week. Tonight we have Manhattan Money. We'll see how he does. He's got the 8-hole, guys. I can't be super optimistic about it. He's not going to get away great. He's not a sprinter, so he's going to have to find his way to grind. The front end's going to have to collapse. He's going to have to grind up into contention. He's not going to be second over on a half-mile track. I'd say he's third over on a half-mile track, but if the front end collapses, then we'll be okay. It turns out that we do also have, Yo Mister is going to race tonight, and so is Blue Ventura. We get Looks Like Money tomorrow. I am toying with the idea of going to the Michigan sale tomorrow. This would mean I would have to book off of Looks Like Money. I only say this. He's got the rail. He's not going to get away great. And the horse on the far outside just went in 51-3 and 51-1 at the Meadows. Not great. Not completely ideal. On Friday, though, we have JK Victory, Neptune. Time is on my side. It's in a good spot, like a 6-horse field. He's 3-1, really. Chicago Hall, 3-1. Neptune, 6-1. He's moving up. And JK Victory, 6-1. I did enter JK Victory in the sale for Monday, so he will be raced aggressively on Friday. Not that he wouldn't be anyway. Saturday, I don't know if we got anything in yet. Sunday, I'll likely have to make my way to Cumberland Run, the Mint at Cumberland Run. We have Jolene Hall, a couple of 9-1 shots. And then on Monday, we only got one of the 3 entered we got in. Memento Mori's in the 13th race with the rail. And Scott Zeron's going to drive him. There's no point in me staying for the 13th race on Monday. We'd entered Spitfire, who didn't get used. They said they might use him next week. And then Zena Kemp, that class is carried over till Tuesday, so hopefully she gets right back in on Tuesday. So that is what is going on so far this week. I see the list for Saturday. Northfield is not up yet. That will be up probably on our calendar. That will be up tomorrow morning. So with that, I'm going to let you go. I'm thinking, did you ever pull into where you were going to eat and you're like, I don't actually know if I want this place? That's where I'm at right now. We get Northfield Park starting in 5 minutes. I'm in race 5 and 7, and then I'm done for the evening. I have to go and grab a couple more cross ties from Home Depot for the barn. And, oh, that's loud. A couple of cross ties for the barn. And then, man, I wish everybody could see before and after. Carla painting, everybody putting the mats in, just a tremendous job. Really, really excited. Not just about the barn, but the horses that are in it. Babies are all looking really good the last few days. I'll talk more about them in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, I was a little surprised about the purchases of the Ohio breds. I thought there'd be a little more interest in that, but that happens sometimes. Lexington was very aggressive. Ohio was not. But as we start to train down these horses and you guys get a good look at them, you will see what I see with the babies we got. I'm happy with the way the barn is looking in regards to London next week. It's not Monday, Tuesday. It's Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm going to likely be in London on Tuesday, and I'll leave it to Jason and James to take the reins on Wednesday. I'll look at all the horses we want to look at anyway. Possibly Michigan tomorrow, and then obviously Harrisburg will clean up the remainder of the sale season. Very happy, as I said, with the way things went, the way things are going. I will talk to you all very soon. Still a little heartbroken over the Jays last night. But that's all right. It's all right. Still 2-1. We'll see how they play tonight, and then at the very least back to the Rogers Center for Game 5. Yankees are tough. I might dislike them in my heart of hearts. Dislike them, but they are tough, man. They are the pinnacle. So go Jays. Tigers are winning. For all you Tigers fans know, we got a couple out there. Ed and a couple of other clients are all hardcore Tigers fans. They were up against the wall today. It was win or go home, and it was 7-3 heading into the 8th inning last I checked. Good luck to whoever you cheer for in that series. most definitely the Jays tonight. I will talk to you all very soon. Have a wonderful rest of your evening.